pressing issue in American history. I want to thank you for joining me today. We are speaking on the anniversary of the most important event in African American history, December 6, 1865, which was the day that the Georgia legislature ratified the 13th Amendment as a 27th state, which made it 3/4 of the states and brought that amendment into law. Keep in mind, this was the first new constitutional amendment in almost 60 years. And during the entire 19th century, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were the only ones that were successfully passed through the states. Today, the White House posted a video of President Obama looking through the door of no return from a slave castle on the West African coast. Last year, both houses of Congress held a special session for the 150th anniversary of this event. However, most schools are silent about this event. This is the first of 4 sessions on cultural mastery, which is our proprietary strategy for driving learners of African descent the necessary tools for success. Through 25 years of curriculum development and pedagogy research, we've analyzed why the persistent disparities in performance continue for African American students. We've come to this inquiry from a background as a business editor, tracking very successful African Americans. And we've asked in our book, Success Secrets of African Americans, how they made it. Invariably, they talked about the day when they saw somebody they could identify with in a position of stature. As authors of the 4-volume history of African Americans in California, we noted that most of this history is not taught in the schools. Ironically, the founder of California's first public school was a very successful African American who was a millionaire, who was a sailor and a merchant who spoke 6 languages and was a math wizard in the 1840s. But there's a single school in California named for him, and his story is never mentioned in classrooms in San Francisco, which is a city that he literally put on the map. The critical need for belonging is never addressed for Black students, not only in California but around the country. In Road to Ratification, we compiled similar information for each of those 27 states, including who was the first African American in the state, where was the first Black church, where was the first Black school, how many Blacks served in the Revolution and the Civil War, and how that state dealt with the issue of slavery. Cultural mastery is the ability to use curriculum to address the psychic impact of marginalization on an ongoing basis, not just an annual token display. As creators of the California African American Freedom Trail, we have recorded 6,000 sites along with corresponding stories around the state. Nationally, Road to Ratification gives us a clear roadmap for the recognized sources of African American history. Our results for students have been peer-reviewed leaps in the sense of belonging and the domain of agency. Let's look at some of these factors. As we mentioned, today is the most important event in Black history. Why did you know that? So the importance of belonging bridges pedagogy, curriculum, child development, and neurochemistry. And in a paper to the American Educational Research Association, we found that the domain of belonging is a prerequisite to higher order learning and behavior. Yes, we can was not an idle election slogan, but something needs to be reinforced on an hourly basis for African American students, regardless of their family income. They're bombarded with negative reinforcement, a trend which has dramatically increased since the election. It's hard to overestimate how much that impedes the ability to focus on task at hand. Much of what we consider inappropriate behavior that leads to discipline and goes into a spiral that often leads directly into the school to prison pipeline is a response to that negative reinforcement. With cultural mastery, educators can give the tools which have served African Americans for 500 years through some of the most difficult experiences imaginable. Students without hope will realize a path to winning in any circumstance. Now we'll see a segment on how to analyze the election without losing one's job.